What's up guys, my name's Tom, welcome back to another video. Today here back to my F2 career mode as Mahaveer Raghunathan. Today is episode 6, the Austria Grand Prix, and in real life this is a race where Mahaveer didn't participate because he reached 12 points in his super license, and that resulted in a race ban. I think it was, I'm not entirely sure, I think it was replaced by Patricio or what, not entirely sure, but tell me on the comments who was, I don't remember at the moment. But here we are on practice, obviously, that we're going to Austria today because we have a championship lead to consolidate. It's already consolidated, but let's see if we can get more distance of our rivals. Doing our things on practice, just getting a little warm up to get ready to what really matters, that is the qualifying session. We skipped till the halfway of the session because we just have one set of tires to use. We had, I think, the softs, but that will be used for race 2. I don't want to make this mistake that I did once we were in Spain. So make sure to smash like and subscribe if new, and let's see if we can get another pole position in F2 campaign as Mahaveer Raghunathan. I'm being an absolute hero at the moment by putting this guy in the championship lead. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I highly recommend to go check it out. But across the line, Joe the King is on pole position at the moment, but he's only just P13 behind Boccalacci and behind Correa and ahead of Boccalacci. But it was just a bunker lap, and remember that in F2 the gaps are way more shorter than in Formula 1. So going purple on the first sector, so like I said, there was definitely some time left on the table because the first lap was a bunker through one of the corners that is a little bit not too bad in these F2 cars. I was expecting these two right-handers being a torture because these F2 cars are much less downforce than the Formula 1 car. But yeah, the car is feeling good. I like Austria, and now we made a better lap, and it's enough to put us only in P3. Jordan King at the moment is still in pole position, but after that lap the tires started to go away, and in the next lap we were 6/10 away of our PB. So at the end of the day is P4, and the top 4 is separated by less than half of a tenth. Half of a tenth, that is absolutely anything, I don't know, but it is enough to separate us. But just to see how close we are, Zams and MP Motorsport. So I'm really looking forward for a close race on Saturday. So without further ado, let's go to that race.
Here we are amidst the dense forest and rolling hills of Spielberg in Austria, just 2 hours out of Vienna. It's an amazing destination for the race today, and we're about to get started. Spielberg is a very short lap, one of the shortest we'll see in this Formula 2 championship. 7 rights and 3 lefts make up the 10 corners of the circuit. The left-hand kink of turn 2, leading into the uphill braking of turn 3, represents another overtake hotspot. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
As the engineers make their last inspection of the cars, let's take a look at today's grid order for the race. A fantastic qualifying from Nicholas Latifi yesterday puts him on pole, with Jordan King alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tete Camara, Raghunathan, Jack Aitken and Joe, Giotto, De Vries, Schumacher, Sean Galea, Matsushita, Delatraz, Juan Manuel Correa, and Boccalacci, Boschon, Alesi, Mazepin, and Antoine Hubert. Ilott and Tatiana Calderon completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
Thanks Jeffrey, and welcome guys to the Austria Grand Prix, starting in P4 after a very close qualifying. Make sure to smash like and subscribe if new to see plenty more F2 content. And in terms of strategy race, we're going to have some rain in the midway of the race, and I was thinking fitting the red stripe tires, the soft tires, because I think we could switch from the softs to the wets and avoid an extra stop. But everyone around me is on the super softs, and I don't want to risk. So yes, I can risk a bit because I'm a bit comfortable on the championship, but I decided to play the same game to be just a little bit more fair. So let's see what we can do. 5 red lights already for the Austria Grand Prix race 1. and it slides out, and away we go, 20 laps ahead of us, and it wasn't the best of starts. Sergio Sede Camera gets a better start than my teammate Jordan King, and he's going to try to go around the outside as we have Jack Aitken on our inside, but we managed to defend around the outside and we maintain our position. And as these two guys are going side by side as they go through the first DRS, so DRS is going to be deployed once we get onto lap 3, and there goes Jordan on the inside of Sede Camera. Can they defend? We're going to try to take the pieces because these guys are holding each other up a bit, but we have a bit of oversteer and we leave the fight for another day as they are still side by side. Austria always providing this game very good battle, so strap in because we can see a very exciting race ahead of us as we lock up a little bit and we left the door open to Jack Aitken, but not enough to take a chance to take a position. But Jordan gets ahead of Sede Camera and now he's going to try to catch the race leader Nicolas Latifi that he's not been having a lot of luck in these last few races, so this race win would be very good for him. But let's see, at the moment pace is not very famous at the moment. These super soft tires, I'm not gonna lie, are feeling a bit hot. I'm feeling that I'm going fast, but not enough against these guys. And I forgot to say that we increased our difficulty to 104. We used to run in 102, but I decided to increase a bit. But now we have some team radio about the weather.
The rain is a few laps out yet, but it is coming. Be careful.
So yeah, rain is coming as we expected in the strategy thing. I'm not remember the strategy tablet of the race, but we are getting ready for our first stop, and these super soft tires were feeling awfully bad, and I decided to pit a lap earlier, I believe. I'm not entirely sure how was the strategy, but I decided to pit earlier, almost sure, because these super soft tires were feeling weird, because I was feeling that I was going faster, but not enough to catch the pull-in places, and maybe it's because of the car is a bit heavy because of the fuel, but I decided to try to take the gamble and try to get the undercut and gain some time on these guys, and hopefully these soft tires can feel better. Possibly they are going to feel better because the pace on the super soft tires was really bad, despite feeling that I was going fast, which was a very weird thing to see, to say the least. But we're going to press on. We skip forward onto lap 8, 2 laps on this set, and now this is the lap where the guys ahead of us virtually are going to pit. So as you can see in the top right hand corner, the TV camera of our guys pitting, and let's see if we can make this undercut work. There was some gap between me and them, but hopefully, like I said, these soft tires, I'm gonna tell you that are feeling better, and hopefully we can get the undercut on 2 lap. Generally is pretty powerful around Austria as we go through the last corner. I believe this is going to be the fastest lap for us, so this is a good sign. The car is getting more lighter, which means that we're getting faster. So that is Sede Camera getting out of the pit, I believe, or Latifi. I'm not entirely sure. We overtook Latifi, as you can see, so he lost a lot of time, and we jumped, and now we are in P3 of this Austrian Grand Prix, and ahead of us is our teammate Jordan. So things are going really good at the moment. We made the undercut work, and hopefully we can start to catch these guys. But we skip forward onto lap 9. This is in the same lap. The rain is starting to fall, so I could have started on the softs, and at the moment I would be leading, and that would be a free stop, and we would stop probably in the lead. And the DRS gets disabled on lap 10, so definitely it's time for fitting the wet tires. But unfortunately, our teammate Jordan is coming as well, so this is going to be a double stack, and the double stacks in Formula 2 are really punishing because the pit stops take much longer. So we're going to drop some positions. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to, you know, score points in this race, because we're going to lose a heap amount of time. The Tams are doing a double stack as well. Now he's blocking the road to one of the car lanes, but hopefully, thankfully, he gets out of the way. But we're going to lose a heap amount of time. The Hardens as well doing double stack. Everyone is doing double stack, and this is taking an absolute eternity. This is an absolute disaster. Everyone is jumping me. The Harden, the Tams, now the 2 Tams are ahead of me. The HAT of the freeze, I believe, and this is an absolute disaster. We are in P14 of this Grand Prix, and yeah, everything came to swimmingly okay to absolutely bad, and I decided to pit. Probably you're going to you know, criticize me on the comments, but if I stayed out, it would be much worse because the rain was falling super quickly, and I believe it would be much worse if I stayed out one more lap on the slicks. But we're catching Nicholas Latifi, and we are out of the points. We're going to gain this position as we go on the inside. We're still side by side. Now we are on the inside, and yeah, it is P12. But after that, it's no points for this race, and yeah, I took the gamble. I already screwed Jordan many times because I was ahead, so I can't complain with that. Yeah, sometimes you gotta take the risk, and it's not every day that things go well. So at the end of the day, it's going to be P12. We're going to start the race in that same position, and it is Sergio Serecamera that wins the Austrian Grand Prix. But for us, it wasn't a very good day.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A great win then for the Dams team today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Simply, they are just a better driver in the world. Here in Formula 2, we know the cars are the same, so it's not down to machinery. They can just handle the weather better than everyone else. I mean, they can have the throttle open longer, they can push more, brake later, and are able to handle it all. They make it look like they have a much faster car, but it's a pure skill behind the wheel. Really incredible drive.
And I can see our drivers making their way out now. It's been a sublime team performance, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. Dams are your winners today.
Yeah, it's a bit painful to not see me on the podium, but thankfully we had an MP Motorsport on the podium, really neat for the team's championship. Jordan is doing so well now in this second third of the championship with podiums, and yeah, that's what we want to see. But there you go, confirmation results. He gets the fastest lap actually, so that was really good from Jordan. And in terms of the points, we are 0 points. 0 points, that's, yeah. These things happen. We learn in France. We won that race, that rainy race, but we learned that things can go really bad in the rainy races. So it happens, but thankfully we have a good gap against these guys, and now we are 39 points ahead of Louis Delatraz. That gets ahead of Nicholas Latifi after no scoring points like me. But thankfully, like I said, we have a very safe gap. And in the team's championship, MP Motorsport with 54 points ahead of their rivals, of Dams. So things are going well despite that race. And yeah, now it's time for the sprint race. We are starting in P12. Let's see if we can score at least some good points in this weekend. 5 red lights for the sprint race, 14 laps ahead of us, and it slides out, and away we go. It was a good start, and the initial getaway was pretty good against the freeze, but then we walked out a little bit as we're going to try to go on the inside of the ART into turn 1. This is for P11, but we score points only on when we get into P8, and it is a very good start as we're going 3 wide against Luca Giotto, of Guan Yu Zhou. No, it is Giotto and one of the Carlins, and we get up into P9, now P8, as we go on the inside of Sergio Serecamera. Can we get this move right? We have some yellow flags, but we're already ahead of him, and we are on the point of this Austrian Grand Prix, so things are going swimmingly well for us, as Serecamera has a word to say as he's trying to go around the outside through this right-hander in the second sector, but we managed to just give him a little bit of a squeeze, and we squeeze him so much that now Baharu Matsushita is ahead of him. So yeah, being too aggressive, but remember, this is Formula 2, same car, we have to be aggressive. And yeah, even if Formula 1 are aggressive, as Serecamera is being aggressive as well, and he forces his way on the inside through this twisty section of the second sector. I wasn't expecting that from an AR car. I'm impressed. We're going to press on, but we managed to defend, but that was really surprising. I wasn't expecting Serecamera to make that move as we mount the curb on the last corner. Wow, we did a little bit of a honey hop and we lost time, and now Serecamera is going to try on the inside, but instead of that is side by side with the Carlin of Matsushita. And now we're going to see this battle. So we're in P8, we're already on the points, which is good. At least for now we're not going get out of here without points, as the DRS is not deployed at the moment. It's going to be deployed once we get on lap 3. But Sergio Serecamera on the inside of Nabaharu Matsushita, and can he get that move done? No, Matsushita actually gets a good traction, but not enough to get alongside of the Brazilian, and he remains in P2. P10 outside of the points, but we pull away a lot of these guys, as you can see. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, Austria always provides some good racing between these guys, and in Formula 2 even much so. But now chasing down our teammate Jordan King a little bit far, but we're going to make the dive bomb on the century on our teammate. No contact, very clean, and that says, ladies and gentlemen, an excellent way of getting into P7. What a great move. I need to see a replay of this. Position numbers are wrong, so apologies for that. So there you go, on the inside, a good dive bomb. I was feeling very confident on the brake, so definitely the soft tires feel a lot better this weekend, which is hot. Generally, I feel better with the softest tire, but it seems that Austria I'm feeling better with the soft tires, as Lacy is out of the race, so close to hit his gearbox. Is one free position. Now we are on the getting closer to Guan Yu Zhou. We're going on the inside, but there was some yellow flags, unfortunately, so we have to live the fight for another day, because if we made the move, that would be it. So this is Jack Aitken, a battle between Aitken that is behind us, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. No, he's ahead of us, sorry. Apologies for that. This is Traz, I believe. Then Schumacher, and then it's me and Joe. I believe we're going to overtake Joe sooner or later, and I believe that I forgot to show you on the editing the overtake, so apologies for that, but it was a very clean overtake, trust me. And Schumacher is going to try. This is a free wide to turn 1, wow! Never seen this in an F1 game. Free wide into, not even in Formula 1, and the Schumacher loses a lot of time between these two guys. Aitken gets through, and now Schumacher on the slipstream on the Delatraz. Yes, it is Delatraz. It's the number 1 on the Carlin, and he's going to try all the way around the outside. Gets an absolutely great traction, Schumacher, on the Prema, as these two guys are going side by side. Schumacher as the DRS as well for Delatraz, and these guys are still side by side. Things on F1 games, right, where the AI goes side by side by an entire lap, sorry, sometimes, as Antoine Hubert is leading by an absolute mile as we go purple on the third sector. But yeah, actually we're going to show the overtake on Guan Yu Zhou. I don't know why I said that I forgot to put on the edit. It seems that, yeah, I put, so yeah, clear what I said, and we're going to press on, because we're going this time not on the inside, we're going to stick on the outside line, giving it a little bit of a squeeze. He actually resists in the braking zone as we lock up a little bit, but we're going to have the better traction, and that's us into P5. So considering that we started in P12 after a nightmare of a race, and now we are in P5, I absolutely take that every single day of the week. And now Schumacher blocks us a little bit on lap 8. He packs on the apex, and I had to take a bit of avoiding action, and I had to put more pressure on the brakes than I would like to, and we locked up a bit. So yeah, we're going to now try our second chance on Schumacher. We are a bit far, but we're going to make the dive bomb once again, like in Jordan, but this time way more from a long way back. And that says, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, yes, it is before. And another nice overtake as we're watching the replay. Now the numbers on the tags are right, as you can see. Really like these tags that Matt Hames did on the Photoshop. He has the tutorial. You can definitely check him out, because it's really easy to do these tags. So we're going to press on Jack Aitken. And this is the podium places, and we're going to make the dive bomb once again, but we made a double lockup. We're going to make contact. This is a copycat of Hamilton versus Rosberg, but this time Aitken doesn't go wide, and his front wing is not going to disintegrate like in the 2016 Spanish. No, in the Spanish Grand Prix they retired because of the contact. Austrian Grand Prix, real life Austrian Grand Prix, as we're still side by side. Now we're going to give just a bit of more squeeze, and we are in the podium places of this Austrian Grand Prix, as we have some yellow flags ahead. And I'm gonna tell you, that is a race leader. Antoine Hubert is out of the race with just 3 laps to go. Oh man, that is unfortunate. I think it's not the first time that Hubert retired of a sprint race while leading. This guy has absolutely no luck in my career mode. And there he is, Antoine Hubert, out of the Austrian Grand Prix, the sprint race. It was going to be an easy win. He did nothing wrong, but yeah, the car, something is wrong with the car, because he's going slowly as hell, and unfortunately the race is coming to an early end with just 3 laps to go. He was pulling away, he was dominating that race, and unfortunately, yeah, there you go, he's parking at the escape road at turn 1, and yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's how races go sometimes. And now we're watching the replay of me trying to overtake. We made overtake, but that was contact, as you can see, as Jack Aitken. But yeah, that was 100% my fault because I was feeling too confident, and I said, okay, if I made those 2 overtakes, maybe I can make this one. But I was feeling too more confident on the brakes, and that resulted in contact with Aiken. But at the end of the day, it's going to be P2, which I absolutely take that every single day of the week. We start in P12, we slice our way through the field, it's going to be P2 at the end of this Grand Prix. Louis Delatraz win the sprint race, a handed win thanks to Hubert's DNF, and he's going to close the gap in the championship. But for us, it was a nice day in the sprint race.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Carlin have pulled off a sublime performance to secure the top step of the podium today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can, it's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over the entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raised some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
It was a very weird weekend because it was my first time that the pace on the hardest comparative tire was better than the softest tire, and that was the first time. It was weird, not just because of the results, but because of this, because definitely in this sprint race I was much confident with the soft tires, and there go the reward. We gained 10 positions in the space of 14 laps, which is pretty good considering that is Formula 2. I think I consider more harder to overtake in Formula 2, but yeah, it was our worst weekend so far in this championship campaign. As Mahaveer Raghunathan, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash like and subscribe and if new to plenty more Formula 1 and Formula 2 content. It really motivates me to make more. And now in the championship standings, the gap was shortened over Louis Delatraz, and we are just 36 points ahead of the Swiss. And in terms of the team standings, we are ahead of Tam. So yeah, it was maybe a little bit of a damage limitation race, but thankfully Jordan Space really helped us out still in the team standings. That's what I really want. So guys, that has been the video. Next episode is going to be around Silverstone, but for now, for me is everything. My name's Tom, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time, but for now, it's goodbye.